All right, everybody, what's going on? And welcome to another edition of SWAC Talk, the show we cover the SWAC inside and out. I am your tour guide, as usual, C. Wells, coming at you. And we're going to talk a little football, a little basketball. Just going to have a good little time today. Have some fun, on this tour around the SWAC. So, as you know, you can see the social scrolling on the screen down below. I used to not do much with my Twitter, but my Twitter is back up again. That's SWAC Talk 76. My Instagram is Swag Talk, Facebook Swag Talk, email swagtalk76@gmail.com. All those, I'm active on all those now. So if you, whichever platform you use, if you haven't done so already, why don't you go ahead and like it, follow it, whatever the case may be, and keep tabs on what's going on with the show. Since you're here, if you haven't done so already, won't you please subscribe? If you have subscribed already, thank you. Like these videos, man. Hit that like button, please. Hit that like button. Let YouTube know what's going on. Hit that like button. Share videos. Feel free to comment. Any topic, whatever. I always respond as much as I can to comments. So I like to go back and forth in the comments. So if you hit me up in the comments, it'd be much appreciated. And all that out the way, man. Let's talk a little football. We don't have a complete list of schedules yet, but schedules are trickling in. There's still a few teams who have not officially announced schedules, so I'm not really going to touch on anything that's not officially announced, or at least that I know. Some of these may not be official, but I've had them for a minute, so I'm gonna talk about these. But a few that have not been announced yet officially, I'm not gonna touch. A couple that I look at. FBS schedules, which is what I use for things like this. They don't have much complete. A few teams are still waiting to finalize a couple details. So we're gonna touch on those when those come out. I'm also gonna share my personal rules on scheduling. These are nobody else's but mine. You can say, yo, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. I love to hear that. What you saying don't make no sense. It's all good, man. Whether you agree or you don't agree. This is what I feel, and that I like. This is what I like when I look at a schedule. So I'll share those in a minute. We're gonna just kind of run through these that I have in front of me. We're gonna start with Gremlin. They open up on September 3rd at Arkansas State. They play Northwestern State on September 10th in Independence Stadium in Shreveport. Nice neutral site game for them. A winnable FCS game. At Jackson State on September 17th. I believe that's a non-conference game. I may be wrong on that, but I believe it's a non-conference game. September 24th, they are at Bethune Cookman, so they go to Daytona. They play on October 1st in the State Fair Classic against Prairie View. October 8th, they're at Lewis Cruz Stadium in Huntsville to take on the Alabama and Bulldogs. And October 15th is Gremlin's first home game of the season. So they road warriors for the beginning of the season. They play 2 neutral site games and 4 true road. Excuse me. 4 true road games and 2 neutral site games. So they are on the road a lot for the first couple months of the season. Like I said, October 15th they come home and host FAMU to open up their home schedule. October 22nd they're off. October 29th, they host Alcorn. November 5th, they host UAPB. And then November 12th, they're at Texas Southern. November 9th, the normal pre-Bayou Classic off date. And then November 26th in New Orleans, they take on Southern University. So, other than that long stretch of games away from home, they do have a couple neutral site games in there. But other than those games that are away from home, not a bad schedule. It's a few things that fit my criteria, and I'm really pleased with their schedule. So other than if they could have broke up those road games, I would be a lot happier about it. But it is what it is. You play the cards you dealt. Moving on to Southern, they open up their schedule on September 3rd, hosting Florida Memorial in the Pete Richardson Classic. September 10th, they're at LSU. September 17th, they play Texas Southern in Arlington Football Classic. September 24th, they are off. October 1st, they are hosting UAPB. October 8th, they go to Prairie View to take on the Panthers. October 15th, they host Alcorn. October 22nd, they host Virginia Lynchburg. October 29th, they're at Jackson State. November 5th, they're at Florida A&M. November 12th, they host Valley. And November 19th, the typical Bayou Classic, pre-Bayou Classic off date. And then November 26th, they play Gremlin in New Orleans in the Bayou Classic. So that's, I have a few things I'm going to say about Southern schedule coming up. I don't really like it that much. So we'll touch on that as we move forward. Next, we're going to move on to the Rattlers of Florida A&M. They open up their season on August 27th against North Carolina, the Tar Heels. Sunday, September 4th, they play Jackson State in the Orange Blossom Classic in Miami. September 10th, they host Albany State. They are off on September 17th. September 24th, they host Alabama A&M. October 1st, they host Mississippi Valley. October 8th, they go to South Carolina State. October 15th, they go to Gremlin. They're off on the 22nd of October. October 29th, they host UAPB for homecoming. November 5th, they host Southern. November 12th, they're at Alabama State. November 19th, they play Bethune Cookman in the Florida Classic in Orlando, Florida. So this is a schedule I don't have too many gripes about. I'm not a fan of Power 5 games, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But other than that, this is pretty much what you kind of expect from a schedule. So not bad, not good, but pretty solid. Moving on to Bethune Cookman, their schedule is as follows. They open up September 3rd against the Miami Hurricanes. So September 3rd and September 4th, you get SWAC action in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. You get Bethune Cookman playing a money game on Saturday, then Orange Blossom Classic on Sunday. So if you can do both, that would be a tremendous SWAC football weekend. So keep that in your mental calendar, your physical calendar, put it somewhere, and keep tabs on that. September 10th, they host South Carolina State. They're off on September 17th. September 24th, they host Gremlin. October 1st, they go to Alabama A&M. October 8th, they play at Tennessee State. October 15th, they host Jackson State. October 22nd, they go to Valley to take on the Delta Devils. October 29th, they're at Prairie View. November 5th, they host Alabama State. November 12th, they're at Alcorn. And then November 19th, they play Florida A&M in the Florida Classic in Orlando. Really solid schedule. 2 FCS games. So that's always a plus. One at home, one on the road. That's not bad. That money game, like I said before about Power 5 games, it is what it is. I understand, but that's not something that I'm too happy about. But all in all, not a bad schedule. Some nice home games, so that always works well in your favor. Alabama A&M opens up their season on Thursday, September 1st at UAB, the Blazers in Birmingham. September 10th, they're at Troy. September 17th, they host Austin Peay. September 24th, they go to Florida A&M. October 1st, they're they host Bethune Cookman for homecoming. October 8th, they host Gremlin. October 15th, they're at UAPB. October 22nd, they're off. That's a typical off day before the Magic City Classic, which they play against Alabama State in Birmingham on October 29th. So they have 2 games in Birmingham this year. November 5th, they go to Valley. November 12th, they play Jackson State in Mobile. So that's a nice neutral site game. So it should be a great turnout in Mobile for that game. And November 19th, they host Texas Southern. I like this schedule. Like I said, I'm not the only gripe I have is I'm not a fan of more than one money game. But they're both local games. They're both against G5 opponents. So that's good. And a home game against a regional FCS opponent. I like this schedule a lot. So I think the Bulldogs give themselves a nice opportunity. The SWAC schedule stacks up pretty decently. We'll get deeper into that kind of thing as we move forward. throughout the season. But right now, I think, it's a really, really solid schedule. It's really hard to really weigh in on schedules until you really look at the SWAC side of it, because that's where the weight of your schedule is in conference games. But right now, I like this a lot. We're gonna look at Prairie View. They open up their season hosting Texas Southern in the Labor Day Classic on September 3rd. September 10th, they're at Abilene Christian. September 17th, they host Incarnate Word. September 24th, they're at Alabama State. October 1st, they play Gremlin in the State Fair Classic in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. October 8th, they host Southern. They're off on October 15th. October 22nd, they go to Beaumont to take on the Lamar Cardinals. October 29th, they host Bethune Cookman. November 5th, they host Alcorn. November 12th, they go to Uapb. And November 19th, they close out their season on the road at Mississippi Valley. 3 FCS games. That's tremendous. 3 FCS games, all against teams from the state of Texas. 1 at home, 2 on the road. Not crazy road trips. So I like the schedule a lot. Like I said, this is kind of fitting the bill of what I like, as far as being able to go out and play these teams that are in your area and that are in your classification. So I like the schedule a lot. The home schedule is not bad. They get Southern and Alcorn at home. 2 big games at home. Bethune Cookman comes to Prairie View as well. So they have and Texas Southern. The biggest game of the season is at home this year. So that's a really good home schedule. So hopefully they'll be able to pack out the stadium. Being able to get the Labor Day Classic at home this year really kind of makes things a little bit better. You don't have to go as long before your first home game, and you get a good crowd as well. So I like this schedule a lot. I think Prairie View did a really good job with this, and we'll see how they navigate it as they move through their season. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Alabama State Hornets. I don't think this schedule has been officially announced yet, but it's been floating around for a while. And I said I wasn't going to really talk about these schedules that haven't been officially announced, but this one and the Alcorn schedule have both been floating around for a while. So I'm just going to roll with it. If anything changes, then, charge it to the game. Alabama State opens up their season on August 27th in the SWAC Challenge in Atlanta against Howard. I like that game. Good opportunity for Coach Robinson to hit the ground running in his first game. Also, a nationally televised game for his first game as head coach at Alabama State. You can't beat that. September 3rd, they host Miles in the Labor Day Classic. September 10th, they're at UCLA. That's a long way for a money game. Hopefully the bread is good. Hopefully it's a good bag, because that's a lot of traveling for a game like that. September 17th, they're off. September 24th, they host Prairie View. October 1st, they're at Texas Southern. October 8th, they host Jackson State. October 15th, they host Valley. They're off on the 22nd. October 29th, they play Alabama A&M in the Magic City Classic. November 5th, they're at Bethune Cookman. November 12th, they host FAMU. And they close out their season at home on November 19th against Uapb Golden Lions. So other than that long trip to California for that money game, I don't think this is a bad schedule at all. You got a nice classic game in the SWAC Challenge, and then you get a regional local team in Miles to come to town for your opening season classic game. So not bad, not good, but not bad. Like I said, we'll weigh the SWAC side of it as we get closer to spring practice and everything after that. Alcorn schedule. September 3rd, they host Stephen F. Austin. September 10th, they're at Alcorn. They're at Tulane. September 17th, they're at McNeese. September 24th, they host UAPB. They have a bye week on October 1st. October 8th, they're at Valley. October 15th, they're at Southern. October 22nd, they host Texas Southern. October 29th, they're at Gremlin. November 5th, they're at Prairie View. November 12th, they host Bethune Cookman. And November 12th, they host Jackson State in the Soul Bowl. So they get that game at home this year. Not a great home schedule this year. They still going through, the little licks that they had to take from opting out of the spring season. They had a couple games that would probably be home games that they well, last year they had a couple games that should have been home games that were road games. So they're keeping those games on the road to get the cycle back on track. So they have a few. They don't have very many home games. They do get Stephen F. Austin at home. I think that's a nice home game for them to open up the season. Whether it's winnable or not, that's we're gonna talk about that. But getting an opponent like that at home to me is good. Obviously, we talk a little bit more about the pros and cons of playing those kind of teams at home. But I like their schedule. Like I said, a lot of road games. No long trips, no Florida trips, so that's good. But a lot of trips within 3 or 4 hours, so not a lot of traveling. A lot of trips that the Braves faithful can make and hopefully enjoy their season. So let's take let me take a few minutes and talk about why how I feel about scheduling. And like I said, this is only my scheduling preferences. So don't take this as the gospel. Don't take this as me saying what other people say is wrong. Don't even take it as me saying how the schools scheduling are wrong, because I know that everybody schedules the way that they do for the reasons that are specific to their program. Some things may not be feasible for some schools. Some schools have obligations that they already committed to, and that changes the way that they schedule games. So, like I said, this is all my opinion. You can agree or disagree, but this is why I feel how I feel. I thought I'd take a couple minutes and speak on this just to kind of give an idea of why I say what I say. Number one, and this is top notch for me. Like Biggie said, rule nombre uno, even though he meant numero, but rule nombre uno, no Power 5 games. And I know, hey, Southern got one. Alabama State got one. I'm sure Texas Southern may have one. I don't know. A few other teams may have one, but to me, Power 5 games are just not it for me. Like I said, the bag should be nice. The bag should always be nice. You're playing a Power 5 team, but I just don't. I don't even think it's an issue of injuries or whatever. Because you can cure injuries in a game, in a SWAC game. But a lot of people look at what happened with Prairie View at the end of the last season, playing Texas A&M. In the next to last game of the season, and taking some injuries that hampered the end of their season, if you want to look at it that way. The SEC loves to schedule FCS games in the second to last week of the season, so that's where they typically put it if it's not first. But I don't really like Power 5 games. Like I say, all money ain't good money. If you're gonna get money, then I would prefer a G5 opponent. I mean, obviously, you still are probably gonna get beat because this team has more players than you. They have more depth. But, to me, the scales are not as uneven. Playing a team who is a G5 opponent is, to me, a lot more even, possibly, than playing a Power 5 opponent. The amount of FCS teams that beat Power 5 teams is not that great. Jacksonville State beat FSU this past season. North Dakota State won a couple Power 5 games. Of course, App State beat Michigan. James Madison beat Virginia Tech. I think there may be a couple more. I think Eastern Washington beat like Washington or Washington State one year. So there are some, but the amount of FCS victories over G5 opponents is a lot greater. So we just had a near SWAC victory when Jackson State should have beat ULM last year. But they lost, but they were in that game from start to finish and honestly dominated that game for stretches of that game. So to me, with the talent in the SWAC rising, I think, it's going to be, I'm not saying that, next year or the year after that, we're going to be running through, FBS opponents. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying with the rise of talent, I think you have a better chance against a G5 school. Now you can go out and look like Southern and get mollywopped by Troy. That's still going to happen. But, I just feel like G5 games are better as far as on the field matchup. Power 5, the bag is what it is. The bag is the bag. So if you're gonna play it, then you need to get a nice bag. And like I said, going cross country for a bag to me is crazy when you passing by a bunch of other teams to get there. So that's number one. Number two, at least one regional FCS opponent, home and home if possible. Now, I know a lot of schools not going to really want to play you home and home. And if they do, they want you to come to them first because they're scared you're going to cancel if you get the home game first. So that's always something that needs to be taken into account. But if you can get that home and home, or if you can even find a way to swing just a single game at home against an opponent like that, I think that's good. We don't play with the SWAC not playing in the playoffs. I think that it's important to play teams in your area that are in your classification to, the A, see how you measure up, and B, if you can win these kind of games, then, you put yourself in a greater position, locally, as far as recruiting and swaying kids who may be on the fence. And it's just also just a good look to win these kind of games and not even go to the playoffs. If you could win a couple of these games and then go play in a Celebration Bowl, it makes them want you more. But you have all the cards in your hands. So I like FCS games and I like the regional games. I mean, obviously being in the South, you have multiple conferences in your footprint. So there's a lot of options if you can get them. If you can't, then that's not on you unless you don't try to schedule those teams. Some teams might just say no, or they might just say we want you to come to us and we're not gonna come to you. To me, unless it's like a team that moves the needle, then I wouldn't even go for that. But that's my second rule. I really stress that, and I like to see those kind of games on the schedule. It's not that I think that those kind of teams are better than our teams or whatever, because they don't bring people with them. But I think that it's still good to play those kind of games from a competition standpoint. Number three, no opponent below Division II. And, that goes for everybody. I think, unless it's a circumstance where, a coach who used to coach at your school coaches at this school and, you want to get them a little opportunity to play, or, you had somebody cancel on you and you need to fill a game at the last second. I think that those kind of games should be minimal. One Division II opponent, early in the season, in like a classic type of game at home, to me is the best. Unless you have a situation that comes up later, like a Circle City Classic or something like that. But to me, I want to keep those kind of games at a minimum. So only one, if possible, only one Division II opponent. Hopefully, nothing more than that. And that's one of the gripes I have about Southern schedule is I would love to see one of those teams be moved off for somebody else. But I wasn't in the room when they did that schedule, so. You just have to live with it. But that's my my third rule. Rule number 4, preference number 4, no more than one FBS game. Like I said, I already said, how I feel about FBS games. You should one should be enough. Because if you can't, if you need the money like that, then you just need the money like that. But I prefer to only have one on the schedule and have it early, get it out the way, get paid, get it out the way, go about your business. If you play more than one, to me, that's just, it's overkill. I think you don't give your team a chance to really gel. And that's a game that could have been scheduled for a lower, a D2 opponent or a FCS opponent. So, no more than one money game. That's honestly an important rule to me. That could be number 2 behind number 1. But number 5, at least 5 home games if possible. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, if you play a FCS team, from the Southland or from the SoCon or from, the Big South or OVC, whatever, they're not going to bring nobody with them. And that's cool. That is what it is. But at some point, our fans have to turn out for our team, regardless of who the opponent is. And I know a lot of places don't really turn out for, certain opponents, but you need to come to the game for your team. Who they playing should be secondary. You should pack out your stadium or come close to it every week, if you can. The opponents should be for the walk-up people. the people who are legit, season ticket holders and fans that go to multiple games, you should really come out to support your team, and whoever they playing is whoever they playing. 5 home games to me does a good job of, maybe not needing a money game, or you can, get that G5 money game if you got 5 home games and you pack them out. A decent SWAC home schedule, goes a long way in helping that. But I just feel like you should go to games that your team plays if you can, and those are pretty much my preferences. If you got any preferences that you feel about scheduling, you can drop them in the comments below. And like I said, I just wanted to kind of touch on a little bit of that. Ain't nothing serious, ain't no, these are not hard and fast. I'm not unflexible about these kind of things. I can bend my opinions based on the circumstances. So, like I keep saying, if possible, if it's feasible, every program is different. That's, a mantra that I believe. Every program is different. Everybody has different things. Some people look at Valley's schedule and they be like, man, Valley's schedule up. But Valley not, typically Valley is not a good team. So no matter who they play is going to be a team better than them. But they do typically play a good amount of FCS games. But, that playing a bunch of hard FCS games just to say you play them is also not a good thing either. So it's a balancing act. And like I said, you have to do the schedule that's best for your program. So, if 2 D2 teams is below is best for your program, then that's cool. If you feel like you got games that's gonna sell out regardless, or at least draw a good crowd regardless of who the opponent is, then hey, more power to you. And like I said, I don't really come down on nobody about the way they schedule, but I just wanted to touch on that since scheduling has been a talk lately. So we're gonna take a little bit of time and we're gonna talk a little bit of basketball. We are coming into the second half of the season. 7 games left after Monday. After this past Monday, there are 7 games left for everybody. There's 4 weekends left. Every team plays 3 home and 3 what you want to call it, 3 double headers, 3 home 3 2 game swings against another set of opponents, and then they play 1 game against their travel partner. So 7 games left. The standings are still a hot mess. We're not really going to jump into those too much today. We'll talk about the standings deep. We take a deep dive on Sunday because we're starting to approach, the end of the season. SWAC tournament, early March. Nothing's really been settled other than Jackson State women team, probably easily the number 1 seed. After that, it's pretty much a log jam. The men's side, there's multiple teams that are tied all over the place. So there's a lot of basketball left, and there's still a lot of maneuvering to be done. So let's we're gonna take a quick look at these box scores from Monday's games. Valley picked up a big victory, man. They scored the most points that they scored in 2 or 3 seasons against Alcorn, 93-76. Big game for Valley. Alcorn was led by Zanaya White with 23 points and 5 rebounds. Tanaje Wright, she had 13 points and 7 rebounds. And LaRae Roscoe had 12 points and 7 rebounds. Also, Kaylin Watkins had 17 points and 1 rebound and 2 steals. Alcorn had 34 rebounds, 28 fouls, 3 assists. They did not share the ball well in that game. 17 turnovers, 2 blocks, and 6 steals. They shot 41% from the field, 35% from 3, and 69% from the free throw line. Nice. 32 points in the paint, 5 points over turnovers, 15 second chance points, and 4 fast break points, and 25 points off the bench. Jasmine Elliott led Valley with 22 points and 10 rebounds, a double-double for her. Also 3 assists and 2 steals. 17 points for Michaela Etienne, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. 15 points for Sarah Moore. She also had 9 rebounds. 11 points for Kirsten Hunt. 12 points for Kerrigan Johnson. And 10 points for Malaya Gibson. So Valley had six people in double figures. The only other player that scored was Deshae McGloster. She had 6. So basically everybody who played scored, except for Kendria Wilson. She only played 3 minutes. She didn't score. But everybody else that played for Valley scored, and they scored double digits pretty much. 36 rebounds for Valley, 22 fouls, 15 assists, 12 turnovers, no blocks, and 9 steals. They shot 50% from the field, 50 from 3, and 71% from the free throw line. They had 40 points in the paint, 29 points over turnovers, 10 second chance points, 13 fast break points, and 22 bench points. Big game for Valley, man. They really, they really got over the hump in this one, and they picked up a nice victory over Alcorn. Gremlin defeated Alabama A&M 81-72, another high-scoring game. A&M was led by DeJarrodJones with 17 points and 7 assists, 24 points for Dariana Lewis, 24 points and 6 rebounds. She had 2 blocks and 1 steal. They were the only 2 Lady Bulldogs in double figures, 23 rebounds for them, 19 fouls, 19 assists, 19 turnovers. They love the number 19, 4 blocks and 14 steals, 56% from the field, 27% from 3, 53% from the free throw line. That's never good. 48 points in the paint, 25 points over turnovers, 6 second chance points, 4 fast break points, and 45 bench points. So nice bench effort for them, but not much else on the night. Alexis Hope led Gremlin with 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. She was 10 or 12 from the field. Really efficient shooting night, 2 or 3 from the three-point line, 5 or 7 from the free throw line. 3 steals as well. Justice Coleman, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 15 points for Ariel Williams. She also had 4 rebounds. Gremlin had 31 rebounds on the night, 20 fouls, 17 assists, 24 turnovers, 1 block, and 11 steals. Huge amount of turnovers, but they found a way to overcome those. 56% shooting from the field, 38 from 3, 74 from the line, 34 points in the paint, 23 points off of turnovers, 12 second chance points, 10 fast break points, and 13 bench points. So a big win for Gremlin as they continue to try to keep pace of that mid-pack logjam that most teams are in right now. Texas Southern dropped a 71-67 decision to Bethune Cookman. Bethune Cookman picked up their second SWAC win of the season. Texas Southern was led by Ataya Bridges with 23 points and 5 rebounds and 4 assists. 11 points for Adriana Avent. She also had 4 rebounds and 10 points for Jada Perry to round out the double-digit scores for Texas Southern. They had 29 rebounds, 17 fouls, 12 assists, 27 turnovers. They turn the ball over a lot. That's been their Achilles heel all season. 3 blocks and 11 steals. They have 44% shooting from the field, 16% from 3, and 48% from the free throw line. Not a good shooting night from the line, especially. And in a game that's close, that really hurts you a lot. Bethune Cookman was led by Kayla Clark with 16 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double for her. Also 5 steals. 15 points for Imani Reed. She had 5 rebounds as well. 10 points for Kayla White and 10 points for Kamari Harris. She had 10 points and 5 rebounds as to go with the rest of the team. 36 rebounds for Bethune Cookman, 24 fouls, 12 assists, 31 turnovers. Man, this game was sloppy. That's 58 turnovers between the two teams, man. That's a gang of turnovers. 1 block and 15 steals. So 26 steals, over 50 turnovers. Just not a really good game for either team. Bethune Cookman shot 52% from the field, 18% from 3, and 61% from the line. They had 40 points in the paint, 26 points over turnovers, 19 second chance points, 21 fast break points, and 27 bench points. This game had 4 ties and 6 lead changes, so it was a back and forth affair. Like I said, it was a sloppy game, but Bethune Cookman survived. Speaking of surviving, Jackson State survived UAPB. Only Jackson State I could say a 14-point victory is surviving. That's another double-digit victory for them. Bethune Cookman was UAPB was very game. They hung in this game for a long time. They just wore down in the second half as usual. Misha Williams, 17 points, 13 rebounds, another double-double for her. Also 5 blocks. Tilon Bowler, 14 points and 4 rebounds. 15 points for Deja Rogan. And 10 points for Deja Woodard, 10 points and 12 rebounds, so she had a double-double as well. 51 rebounds for Jackson State, continued mastery of the paint. 21 fouls, 9 assists, 11 turnovers, 7 blocks, and 8 steals. Jackson State shot 36% from the field, 38 from 3, and 85 from the line. They had 38 points in the paint, 17 points off of turnovers, 24 second chance points, no fast break points, 27 bench points. They had 6 ties and two lead changes. But though, why do I keep UAPB really led a large portion of this game. They led at half, 26-24, and they led portions of the third quarter before JSU took over. Bethune Cookman was led by Zay Green. She came off of that triple-double that she had against Alcorn with a double-double in this game, 19 and 11, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. She did her best to keep this team in the game. 15 points for Kayla Walker, 2 rebounds and 4 assists. Shanika Rachel, 10 rebounds for her. Bethune Cookman had 4. UAPB had 40 rebounds. I got Bethune Cookman on the brain. UAPB had 40 rebounds, 21 fouls, 13 assists, 16 turnovers, 8 blocks, and 7 steals. The Golden Lions shot 29% from the field, 10% from 3, and 76% from the free throw line. So as you can see, the shooting just was not there. Just a really bad effort, bad shooting night for them. In a game that they really had an opportunity to win early in this game. If they could have kept the pace and made some shots, this game could have been really, really tight at the very end. 24 points in the paint, 9 points over turnovers, 14 second chance points, 8 fast break points, and 17 bench points for the Golden Lions. Prairie View beat FAMU by a score of 64-51. Diana Rosenthal, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. 16 points for Kennedy Paul. She also had 5 rebounds. Brittany Garner led the team with 9 rebounds, and Geraldine Smith had 8 rebounds and 8 points. Prairie View had 42 rebounds, 20 fouls, 11 assists, 24 turnovers, 4 blocks, and 11 steals. They shot 44% from the field, 31% from the three-point line, 63% from the free throw line, 24 points in the paint, 20 points over turnovers, 10 second chance points, 19 fast break points, and 8 bench points. Florida A&M was led by Tia Bradshaw with 14 points and 2 rebounds, Mallory Brooks, 11 points, and 10 points each for Anasia Harris and Aliyah Ellis. 35 rebounds for the Rattlers, 19 fouls, 11 assists, 18 turnovers, 1 block, and 12 steals. They shot 26% from the field. That'll hurt you all the time. 23% from 3 and 61% from the line. So just could not make shots. You just could not make shots. 12 points in the paint, 29 points over turnovers, 8 second chance points, 8 fast break points, and 11 bench points. Alabama State picked up a big road victory over Southern. This again, Southern controlled for most of the game. They had a 9-point third quarter, which really helped Alabama State get back in this game. And then Alabama State was able to close this game out in the fourth quarter. Ayana Emanuel had 15 points and 8 rebounds. Shamaya Ward led the team with 18 points off the bench and 6 rebounds. She ultimately ended up fouling out, but a huge game for her off the bench. 30 rebounds for Alabama State, 22 fouls, 11 assists, 29 turnovers, 3 blocks, and 5 steals. Southern does a good job of forcing turnovers, but they just could not get the ball in the basket in this game. 42% shooting for Alabama State, 38% from the three-point line, 66% from the free throw line, 28 points in the paint, 22 points over turnovers, 7 second chance points, 7 fast break points, and 28 bench points. This game had 4 ties and 5 lead changes. Genovia Johnson led Southern with 16 points. Amani McWayne, 13 points and 4 rebounds. Nakia Kinsey, 12 points and 6 rebounds. Although 6 rebounds led the team. Southern had 29 rebounds, 27 fouls, 10 assists, 23 turnovers, 7 blocks, and 14 steals. Southern shot 38% from the field, 25% from the three-point line, and 52% from the free throw line. So just could not get the ball in the basket. You make a few free throws, you win this game. You make a couple of threes, you probably win this game. But it just could not get the ball in the basket. 30 points in the paint, 17 points over turnovers, 5 second chance points, 8 fast break points, and 14 bench points. We'll take a quick look at Saturday's schedule. Saturday, February 12th. We'll take a look at that when it pops up. Like I said, we're coming into the end of the season. Bethune Cookman is at Alcorn, 11 o'clock tip-off. Gremlin is at Texas Southern, 1 p.m. tip-off. NBA TV. So NBA TV broadcast for Gremlin, TSU men and women. So make sure you check that out. Valley is at Alabama A&M, 2 o'clock tip-off. That game can be seen on the Alabama A&M YouTube. The Alcorn game can be found on the Alcorn YouTube. Arkansas Pine Bluff at Alabama State, also on the Hornets YouTube channel. That's a 2 o'clock tip-off. Southern at Prairie View. I think that game is broadcast on the Prairie View website. That's a 3 p.m. tip-off. And Florida A&M is at Jackson State, which is on the JSU Sports Network. Reminder, JSU, Southern, and Gremlin, you have to pay to watch their game. So just remember that. That's a 3 o'clock tip. We're going to take a look at the men's side of things, and we'll recap the Saturday games. The Monday games, and quickly go into a couple of things about the upcoming games. This basically, I can say this Monday was teams, pretty much all teams held serve. The log jam in second place remains. Teams still are fighting it out. It's going to be interesting to see how this ends. But we're going to start off with a wild game, man. FAMU defeated Prairie View by a score of 61-60 on a three-pointer at the buzzer. FAMU had actually came back and took the lead in this game. Prairie View scored late and thought they had it on lock. And FAMU got a nice three from Dominguez Stevens to win the game. Prairie View was led by McKedrick Bell with 13 points and 7 rebounds. 10 points for Jeremiah Gambrell. 9 points each for Dwayne Cox and William Douglas. Jawan Daniels with 8 points. Darrell Roberts also had 9. Prairie View had 33 rebounds, 13 fouls, 8 assists, 14 turnovers, no blocks, and 8 steals. They shot 40% from the field, 23% from 3, and 54% from the free throw line. So they had a chance to really salt this game away. They missed 2 late free throws, although they got fouled again and made those 2. But free throw shooting was definitely a thorn in their side in this game, and 3-point shooting as well. 32 points in the paint, 14 points over turnovers, 8 second chance points, 8 fast break points, and 11 bench points. This game had 4 ties and 3 lead changes. MJ Randolph, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. Big game for him. Didn't have his typical 20-plus point game, but he did everything that they needed him to do. 11 points for Keith Littles, 2 rebounds for him. 12 points for Dominguez Stevens, including the game-winning three-pointer. He had 3 threes on the night, no bigger than the one at the buzzer. So a big game for him. And Florida A&M had 32 rebounds, 20 fouls, 9 assists, 16 turnovers, 5 blocks, and 5 steals. They shot 43% from the field, 53% from 3, including 7 of 8 in the second half. They did not make a 3 in the first half. They made 7 in the second half. And 61% from the free throw line. They shot 24 points in the paint, 13 points off of turnovers, 11 second chance points, 7 fast break points, and 18 bench points. So big game for the Rattlers as they remain in that second place log jam. Southern is keeping pace, is setting the pace in the SWAC right now. They picked up a 72-58 victory over Alabama State. This was a game Southern basically controlled for the most part early. There were 3 ties and 2 lead changes. 3 ties and 2 lead changes. And Southern took control midway second half and basically rolled out the margin up to 20 at one point and ended up winning 72-58. Isaiah Range, 19.6 rebounds for Alabama State, and Juan Reyna coming off a 25-point performance against Gremlin. He had 15 points and 5 rebounds. Trace Young had 8 rebounds on the night. The Hornets had 31 rebounds, 15 fouls, 11 assists, 18 turnovers, 6 blocks, and 7 steals. They shot 36% from the field, 31 from 3, and 61% from the free throw line. 20 points in the paint, 13 points over turnovers, 8 second chance points, 7 fast break points, and 17 bench points. Southern was led by Terrell Williams Jr. with 17 points and 7 rebounds, 2 blocks as well. Tyrone Lyons had a double-double, 11 points and 13 rebounds. Big game for him. Jaden Sadler, 10 points and 5 rebounds for him, also 5 steals. Breon Whitley, 15 points off the bench, including 3 threes. So he had another big game for Southern. 37% shooting for Southern. That was one of their lowest shooting percentages on the season. 24% from 3 and 77% from the free throw line. They found a way to win and control this game, shooting below 30% from 3 and below 40% from the field. So this team is, playing good basketball. They play really good defense. They hold teams scoreless for stretches at a time, and that definitely helps them when their offense is not there. 36 points in the paint, 19 points off of turnovers, 22 second chance points, 14 fast break points, and 29 bench points. Alcorn defeated Valley by a score of 79-71. 16 points for Justin Thomas to lead 4 scores in double figures. Darius Agnew has 16 points as well and 7 rebounds. 13 points for Dontrell McQuarter, and Dominic Bruton had 11 points and 8 rebounds for the Braves. They had 35 rebounds on the night, 18 fouls, 6 assists, 11 turnovers, 2 blocks, and 9 steals. They shot 53% from the field, 36% from 3, and 63% from the free throw line. They had 36 points in the paint, 13 points over turnovers, 8 second chance points, 17 fast break points, and 17 bench points. Caleb Hunter had a big game for Valley, 22 points, including 6 of 11 from 3. He also had 1 block and 2 steals, 13 points for Terry Collins, 12 points for Gary Grant, and he also had 6 rebounds to pace the team. Valley had 36 rebounds, 20 fouls, 12 assists, 14 turnovers, 3 blocks, and 8 steals. 43% from the field, 37 from 3, and 57 from the free throw line. Free throw shooting has been one of Valley's weaknesses this year. 22 points in the paint, 10 points off of turnovers, 7 second chance points, 27 fast break points, and 20 bench points. This game was tied once, no lead changes. Alcorn led pretty much from start to finish. Jackson State picked up a nice road victory over UAPB, so they won their second straight game on the road and pulled themselves into that mix of that last spot, that battle for that last spot. So they're in the mix of that 60-47 victory over UAPB. Ken Evans and Terrence Lewis both had 14 points to pace the team. They had 4 scores in double digits. 12 rebounds for Lewis, so a double-double for him. Evans, 6 rebounds. Javius McKinnis, 12 points and 6 rebounds. Jonas James, 11 points and 3 rebounds for him. Jackson State, 40 rebounds, 12 fouls, 12 assists, 11 turnovers, 6 blocks, and 7 steals. Really efficient night. They took care of the ball, only 11 turnovers. Really did a good job of taking care of the ball. Not a lot of turnovers. 43% shooting from the field, 37 from 3, and 78 from the line. They had 34 points in the paint, 9 points off of turnovers, 10 second chance points, no fast break points, and 20 bench points. This game had 1 lead change. Daquan Morris led UAPB, and he was the only scorer in double figures. He had 16 points. Their leading rebounder was Keyshawn Stokes and Omar Parchman. They both had 4 rebounds. So not a lot of production for Pine Bluff. 9 points for Keyshawn Stokes as well. He was the second leading scorer. They had 23 rebounds. They got demolished on the boards. 11 fouls, 15 assists, 10 turnovers, 2 blocks, and 6 steals. 40% shooting from the field, 11 from 3, 1 of 9, and 46% from the free throw line. So just a really poor shooting night for Golden Lions of Pine Bluff. 34 points in the paint, 10 points off of turnovers, 6 second chance points, no fast break points, and 9 bench points. Texas Southern got a good road victory against Bethune Cookman, 66-63, to win both of their Florida games. So that was good for them and kept them in that log jam for second place. Bethune Cookman is in that mix for that last spot. Jordan Carl Nicholas led Texas Southern with 15 points and 11 rebounds, double-double, 3 assists and 1 steal. Bryson Etienne, 13 points, 7 rebounds, and Jordan Gilliam had 11 points. Texas Southern had 45 rebounds, 19 fouls, 9 assists, 22 turnovers, 5 blocks, and 10 steals. They shot 40% from the field, 10% from 3, They did not make a three in the second half. 57% from the free throw line. So did not shoot well, especially in the second half, as they had a 40-22 lead at the half, and Bethune Cookman was able to claw back into this game and lose by 3. But Texas Southern kind of let the game get away from them a little bit, but they closed it out. 40 points in the paint, 23 points off of turnovers, 10 points second chance, 16 fast break points, and 17 bench points. No ties, no lead changes, so they led this game throughout. But they had a nice lead that Bethune Cookman was able to claw their way back in. 23 points and 11 rebounds for Kevin Davis, including 4 for 8 from 3. Joe French, 14 points, 3 of 6 from 3. Marcus Garrett, 11 points and 9 rebounds. Bethune Cookman, 29 rebounds on the night, 23 fouls, 10 assists, 20 turnovers, 2 blocks, and 13 steals. They shot 40% from the field, 38 from 3, and 62% from the free throw line. 18 points in the paint, 21 points over turnovers, 6 second chance points, 14 fast break points, and 12 bench points. And the final game of the night, Gremlin defeated Alabama A&M 58-50. Low scoring game. Alabama A&M actually led this game 31-27 at the half. Gremlin held the Bulldogs at 19 second half points as they would go on to win by 8. Again, both teams still in the mix of where their respective seeding is. Gremlin kept themselves in that log jam for second place. Alabama A&M is in that fight for those last couple of spots. Remember, only 8 teams go to the tournament, so you need to finish in the top 8. So there's a battle for that last spot. Alabama A&M is still in there. Jalen Johnson, 20 points and 7 rebounds. He had 1 block as well. Miles Parker, 10 points and 3 rebounds. Dalen Smith, 9 points and 7 rebounds. Those 7 rebounds tied for team lead. Gremlin held Garrett Hicks to 7 points, so they really did a good job on him. 32 rebounds on the night for the Bulldogs, 15 fouls, 5 assists, 15 turnovers, 5 blocks, and 7 steals. They shot 35% from the field, 14% from 3, another poor shooting night from 3, and 71% from the free throw line. 28 points in the paint, 5 points over turnovers, 10 second chance points, no fast break points, and 2 bench points. This game did have 3 ties and 6 lead changes. Cameron Christian led Gremlin with 12 points and 5 rebounds. Eric Parrish, 11 points and 10 rebounds. That's a one-man EPMD. Eric and Parrish making dollars. Little hip-hop reference for y'all right there, but yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. 10 points for Shondarius Coward. He also had 7 rebounds. Gremlin had 43 rebounds on the night, 15 fouls, 11 assists, 13 turnovers, 5 blocks, and 8 steals. 40% from the field, 22% from 3, 63% from the free throw line. So both teams did not shoot the 3 well. Gremlin was able to still make a comeback, only shooting 2 of 9 from 3. The defense did a great job on Alabama A&M and kept them in control in the second half. 34 points in the paint, 2 points off of turnovers, 12 second chance points, 4 fast break points, and 16 bench points. So just take a quick look at the men's schedule. Obviously, it's the same as the women's schedule, but still, just for sake of completion, gonna go over it. Texas Southern and Gremlin. Remember, that's an NBA TV matchup, men and women. That game is 3:30 on NBA TV for the men. Bethune Cookman is at Alcorn. That's a 3 o'clock tip-off. Game can be seen on Alcorn YouTube channel. Valley at Alabama A&M, 4 o'clock tip-off. Again, Alabama A&M YouTube channel. Pine Bluff is at Pine Bluff is at Alabama State. That's a 4:30 tip. Alabama State YouTube. Southern is at Prairie View. I think that game is on the Prairie View Sports Network. And Jackson State is hosting Florida A&M. And again, JSU Sports Network. You can catch that on their site. So that pretty much does it for today. As usual, if you look at the screen, there should be some boxes around my head. One is a subscription box, so hit that if you haven't subscribed already. The other ones are recommended videos. So if you haven't, watched anything, you want to watch something again, there's some recommendations. So that's gonna do it as usual. Wednesday is today. So Sunday we'll recap all the Saturday action, and we'll talk about the SWAC standings, and we'll look at how this race is shaping up coming into the final 7 games of the season. Tomorrow, SWAC Smoke live 6 p.m. So make sure you check out all of that. I'm your boy C Wells. I'm signing out, and I'll holler at y'all later. Peace. Excuse me.